Say yes, sign abesua wo nyame wo ho asɛm. De fire pomodne ho. Yesro de yadwene ne yakoma hye wo nsa. Na wakoa nso yede na hye wo nsa. Be fa no so ne hyira wo manyina. Wo Yesu dim nti. Amen.
Amen. Pastor, wo mpenyum we na wo pede. Gugwa no na ope. But then send me call Ghana, Brunya Brand me call effort war Legon Church no. Na me di new plan besi new plan station na me fa kasa me call Legon. Ye drum kroma circle me hesa maame abesiriwa bi nam ka kwanchen. Odi be 35. Kama. No wapa no ho ntuma nyina tuagu duku kura mo. Na nipa bebrebe nam kroma cycle no won care about obia wono na ekasa na water ten sakro. Ana won ma eton ye ne amasoso won mo fa na ho na won nam ho. Na me bisan atwa photo wo madwunu. Me bisasen na maame ne nkwara brem no wo hye akire no wote hwe na head injury yanya ho hwenti na ne. Bibi say ya to no na say or you're exposed to some infection. And as abri cause havoc on the brain. And as a chemicals even yes, and I say drubia will be the man, and I say a beer or you're exposed to mold Nenquara brain. Na say air destroying the brains. Megana honchary. Na Sesi ya nkasa wutimi hunu se mental health no doson enkan coverage baye suicide rate are raised to the all-time highest. Na every 14 minutes will be cause of suicide. And so kura ho kire ne nyama nwie yo eba next year no aye lusu ye fie na aye lusu ye dwuma no ubetimi ahun be because of Alzheimer's say the number 5 killer in America since 1990. It's been on the increase. Now there are at least 200 medical mental health problems, be it depression, anxiety, bipolar, and then kika ho ni nyina. So when you bitna ya or was I at any beer, ahmate, asembia bacano what the number be a nase, one more shared in it. So why you be a bosses? Won ye be a man into any that. Na make I say menkora brim dumasi suna penny be tisa, or panning too many na to go, no, nana bonting. Na ya na maybe some who said, na dear now one much into mine. One minute feels say any friend to man and say be edging na one day adwene clear. Na quantity ancient time no one musu say bonsam be na heni tiri mu a enti won timinti asmase no nti wo hwe skulls no a one mbotokro won ne skull no se ne bonsam kora wo hwe mu no obafa mu apia free na woni ate asmase kakra. And Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, 400 years before Christ. One on the can say, Sebi, one my mentally challenge kakrano, yen to you be my one, no one but calm down. Yama one when you exercise fee, now one be improvement in a yagene. But you de can one say, yeah, yen sana one, chani mojamu, nachini mojan, and mojana yan dozen. The Middle Ages in the say wow hum bakan kakra ne ya che oni ya de wakoto insane asylum ne ya din dade adwero wonni chance bia da obeko. You see huge hospitals is any amore wo akura bi ase wiram baby na ne ekoso wo adan ya wo ha no nyame nko ananim ya torture nipa na fa inside the bini I chire won say dinga homa bonase ne obeto bona kopum so obewo. One my one man cry, what is I the evening a chin quarano? She cage been ya build up. Ya did not to send him, me at the end, and any papa the and she and one so I be. Now one me treat you one so bad, say, yeah, ma quarano current nasi, na campus when your baby had that space in him. near din na do abroad kena ojina I don't start eugenics program a lady to German idea say one year pure race into young wipe one out the same thing as baby one much purer race and blacks of one count. Now, in those days, one who na man papa. Church na not sabi will be our yaran yadina command a soft one. Until one so soon, no one me and say, ye beat the devil out of him. Ye best show merciless like of him, said devil, no, warmer, basano, be free umwako. Most of the time they will die. And 20th century, and our brand here so by Sigmund Freud. Or no, send treatment, and so Obama what na couches, no, I can't be out. In 1950s, no one me a lobectomy. Yeah, the idea show teams are mama so near separated the thinking part of the brain from the rest of the brain. Until when you nipa bio. Sebro manka yebeka Phineas Gage, the natural. And this also answer why in the 1970s. No one started the ECT by the patient no go to hospital near the electricity. Ashenitri tisa channel near shock. It me pepa bibia da one adwene so free so. No one adwene foforo so enche bia na yade no asa ba obenya few weeks or months of peace there by yade no ba. And nemre de yes ani mani pi baby wo ha won me electric shock no. But they the drugs and they treat achieve the same thing. Yeah, one way, you know. A branch when in the very way called University College in a diploma, than one way to call prison. Now, yet then, and we are 4 one were raised in same house, identical twins, not differences at this album. And then the kind of treatment, who come crying. Yeah, they might and Crawford, they change to one night. But Transium Woman, Siabo wants a been a titty way. The June saw the back and cry, no, what the 1 million and a crana, so I then pay Potokumatis Edeco. This is the kind of treatment, Yedemayan. So, way Besarash Atade, I call it Mabio. For the rest of his life, no, you're condemned to die. And one no tear feature. A near the Anaka Crabran. No, did if you saw the Nukufia. Obasa fie ho ne manyina batan ana ne baye de krado ato ne na wabetena no ho she wishes say nko wonso so ne mai betimi akọ school aye bribia te sene a won ma aka no etimi ye edi enti na ma nipa ye different behavior etisa the worst thing is enkwara ya mo hwe won wonum de kura anko school nko ya adwuma na stress aba. And so one behavior in assassin. Studies confirm a diania mamini while she is pregnant. And a man quite say England and Miko Humi Bisa, yet the pliers are so almost at 2 on me. If it's also no more, the only defense in this all back war. No one person, one kick out to yet 2 on me 2 ago. One show ye copies a walk around ya deni become all because my many dear Bianibia Kansas dear during the pregnancy and a bribber my best chiramu yanina. Dear causes up mental problem. Genetics. So wabushing for my man now papa yaribia. A very possible. So also benya surgeon. But we should forming carefully. The genes may load the gun. But any environment in the Bepo trigger. See, the idea now said now live a certain lifestyle. We are the Mabontin. Near my bit me ama we are the Ababontin in low quality food and they a baby. And a chronic stress. I drink gin continually. We boss the pressure goes so we couldn't the pressure goes so we the pressure goes so. Now for chemicals and not certain drugs will cause that. and near maybe and Casasa when you're afraid be any more one year nutrient deficiencies. It may mass area at the enemy. Sorry, say you move be yaribisa no ba sorry. Infected nipa baako, effective fear whole phone yina, sorry phone yina, a jumame be a move phone yina. And yeah, just isolated in its case. And depression, anxiety, bipolar, ADHD, suicidal tendencies in any account, baby. Now it's on the increase. So it was a form convention emphasis and handle. The Kaiser asoro bi wo ho a sofo no preach divine service why yedin maame ba ko sore ye wo sofo nsen a wo kan nyina wo boa o twa bo sofo no saa sofo no so hunu se ne wo nsi nyi ano onim se wo mbo ha na oto no babrum na okotena ase na so mpanfo be fan patient no de call church board onim so wa did sofo watem nti ye betu 6 months. Na me bisa some painful and say more church board the dam on a more pool of Bethsaida be or what mutu nipani we nam de numa na yade nyina akọ. Na se muni be the ani and the better means of handling the situation. May make a few suggestions. In what way the churches necessarily handle these challenges. First of all, we should remove the stigma. Ghana kasam one word the penny this cancer abrofum over 200 different diagnoses. Bipolar. By had yes wabadam. Your mom than say be remove that word stigma. If it's a me with kidney problem. And so DFW as a for I Jimmy to me say memora me lecture. One more for me miss me for a one. Ebisu ye diabetic, and so I my own school. Ebisu hard to ya fail, and so one more church board or so. I done a brain there, and it a failure. Nay, you know, free program BM. And to more than my friend Nell Crono, you change the stigma that comes along with that illness. Let us see the problem as medical. Send your kidney to me fail and so a brain is to me failed. Instead of say a friend a mental disease, it can't say your brain health. Let us have compassion, not forgiveness. So then ye can muire free nina as I way the way, your prime, wayajunum. Yesterday near intimate forgive. The reason is that this will increase compliance. Nipanwa onenetieno. Near waka de tiawo, near wire de tiawon. So ultimately forgive what? And minimize it. Shame ni koroneba. Ni teme buaso ma woni to comply. We say wayare. And so ya jena to more family mo or matter. And teaching our cancer kofa draw ya. Ultimate kofa. Say, you're free be biada bekan na. Let us have compassion and forgiveness for those people. Ye chance of a mantam nipana kotna bonting. A chance over the babodium nancy obono. Untimin comply bill. They have to resist. We say ya DNA na and ye de war, but environment any diane. Tim de ba prebe minima ma program be Nova. Abrantia one de chemicals Google esra suma esra no ye green dandelion no share no. Wo ye bisa na junso de no and wo on zip no junso go ma mene da. Ma ka chen sa na junso go mi da ho me pe wo suma mena to fam actually answer one who says benye dam no wabo na chemical no a was spray no was stress no we are very sensitive to and what destroy the brains maame ba ko and saying what the kunu koto mental hospital During the interview, na Dr. Nibisan said, what a was it there be a very nice human being. Now, then was a sign, was it 5 years ago? And I Jumaye Basan or call furniture factory because Jumaho. Since then, and it's not sitting in a say and won't chat at the corner and I'm about tonight. I don't know what to wait. I know na doctor, no, Dr. M. Yeah, Sadi spec, brain spec. No, when it's a chemical, no, a war home and no one pet. And yeah, money brains. Na sending in a binio. Normal brain scanning and drug abuse scanning. One my drug addicts. No, Tiam say, Jai, drugs of a pet. Who has said, who person the brain bay say overnight. Ni Antokro Dinamuch said there is no blood circulation to certain parts of the brain. I had the reason a honina saying 2% overnight would the one or team was about Jansen night level normal. Who person jump from heart to heart. It won't come just like that. A beba with idea. Chemicals to destroy Nipa brain and about them complete. Now, I know one of your studies to be Australia, or Australia were 800 islands. One more confirm more too. One say back on fast food to be uncle. No hamburger, no Kentucky Fried Chicken, no pizza. Another island, so you be boo, baby. And Nikon smart one measure and one who say. One my war fast food war island one board them 5 times. More than one man. Now, the fast food will be any one. And now, Fufuto, the pegus who come the Makara only just a hamburger man. And internet suicide is in the increase every 14 minutes. Fast food and processed food in India a number 1 cause of mental disease. Nipatim Sorokodam, a mental hospital for the rest of your life. Unya Juma won't mean 100 in a year. No one to mention a family year. Moshe 2 maps a year of United States a year. Which mean when you say a year identical. Shaded states are those with the highest rate of schizophrenia. But them kesiye pa no one na bontin kasakasa na schizophrenia. A hana one dozen pa. Shaded areas are states with the greatest number of reported cases of Lyme disease. Lyme disease is what on an AMPA so you don't na insects kati akawo no one Lyme disease. It mean my body completely to schizophrenics. Pa won too much to go abontin ya won't mean who reason ti. Adwuma wo ye anything you can imagine. Is it at all possible say one may go mental hospital was hanging on ABA 80% na Lyme disease. Na yansha one brain ti. Near the one cocoa was a one ma bodam to say half or pepe. And as I see who say something been there happened to Aquarano and as in the Pacorone brain, brain health. If you get your brain in order, one marker Niakanina will be fine. Akora we preschool. While fi inquire honina, while ye drawing beer just will be a yakuno or saying the aso, Yashana confu. Then or Hamaya no one man who didn't change one papa. Teacher ni be aso one penna. Copum say I didn't cotton quara born in school. Ye nama made no call, sir, psychiatrist, one way brain spec no when he said tumor, Bisha has say, near Aaron one. One will revolt move tumor back to normal. Akora was Oyakora to one of 3 steps of survival from. We are unconscious kakran and institute no what ho. Unyine want him kran kostuda. Ni behavior change completely. Enkanka a branch. 3rd grade, nani teacher ni catcher and mamma say, school how will be AMPA and be in free hana copy school fanakum. wakonto kwa ye restless wontimi mfokosu obi amfa na damfo. And don't raise your hope will obey at the age of third grade. Afe 5 doctors man mental disease neuropsychotic say onye nipa obakwa akoda mental hospital proatete. One me any brain scan no one the cause of it. One man fa anyo normal brain scan I had one friend the ring of fire. Now you know you active sa na fire day and night what then we be 2 hours no timida. No one must come in ra a better man condition no ye worse. Dr. M.E. Nifri so you answer man natural supplements. Vitamin D, C, no man magnesium. Omega-3 fatty acids. Gabapentin and then ordinary food additives. Was it says a branch here straight A's for 8 years in straight A. Yeah, says they were prepared to go to college. Now, doctor said, do not to mental ideas, so do not go to mental hospital. A branch 9 years old now, will temporal lobe tumor. Kona na ni maso temporal lobe hono or very terrible temper. Ne bufu ketex asembi abaka wanti ase okoda so a yadum kane anso wontimi na eduru ba bia wotiminya hallucinations. Even sometimes Quran life doesn't mean much. Yeah, or person will commit suicide. And yes, narcotic drugs in the Yeboah. Simple food additives. Prem and ne kama. Near me some children say it doesn't matter how much blood circulation you're losing. By change of lifestyle, but may improve will bring. When you stroke, I say na wajuna no city. There is no blood circulation until have brains in you're useless. So one more than so benya brain circulation the alcohol. I feel kura wunti min kasa. Now bribia woman bo. Osama for brain. How do you expect it so on kaibi bikura on one year on kind circulation? The advice and then say will be to sabo modern sober improve on the blood flow to the brain. Any panel behavior not necessary, but the physiology of it. CT scanner, I know the anatomy, but not the brain spectroscope and measure blood flow and the brain activities. One may limited blood flow, they always end up as schizophrenics. And 2% you improve the brain at the young man, so that 8 hours a day, or that 7 or 6, 1 hour less, the chances of being depressed are very, very, very high. They are setting themselves up for schizophrenia and many, including all these ADHD, depression, and Alzheimer. And the idea be impede blood flow, and never more ye be kana kakra. A very important so we be 7 to 8 hours sleep. High blood sugar lowers brain perfusion. Udi aduane asichire wom bebra and my blood at the end but not slide back home na manya kwa mfa metum ha. Ufa 1 bottle of Coca-Cola now normal 17 teaspoonful of sugar. Sugar ne shoot way up. Then I can't say there's so much sugar. Now lower no assuming say when the normal blood at the end lower more than that. All the period that we work from has in you're destroying your brain cells. Low blood sugar now work. That's yes, so but for fruit no more. chance of pour 17 teaspoonful of sugar. High blood pressure does the same. Uko u doctor ho yana nsemiti ya and then nema or some infant to CT scan so about so nim aye now timi order and so check out blood pressure 140. Any blood pressure be above 120 no? A course through 2 degrees to 122, your chances of getting stroke is increased by 15%. And so obi any afidie so ane de be 120. Kama. You move baby the 140, 160 and then I'm ho. And so you timi here. But we are losing blood cells continually. The microphone on our about life. Insufficient low blood sugar, anemia, thyroid. So the idea when you know cause low blood sugar was it you kill ants, automatic negative thoughts. And this is the magic brain. There be a junior and was it kill your ants. Don't have any automatic bad thinking. Exercise, brain, caffeine, destroy brain. Now light I flashing it to say arcade. Light no call on and off. No bet mama nipanum kwarani bebre abodam. Basically, no, yeah, do way no fun. Me a ne bang ne beti me abuan. You good oil and bad oil. Oil be a visible, no. A dangerous, visible, ne say. Wafan katie they are cost store. Now bro for processing the idea good to almost say peanut butter. And that's a peanut oil. A visible oil. Oil and your oil I want nuts in the moon. And Health and Temperance Department bachelor on how to make a different form of butters in India, healthy. Limit or avoid this canola oil, vegetable oil, the major brain no more. Corn oil, palmizola, it also, so long as it's been taken out of the cellular environment, near the go to amuno, say butter, say whatever, and what. Any processed meat, that could be processed meat, no, it is bacon, sausage, chicken, they are actually Atlanta, Nambiada or my processing, and you're good for the brain. How to improve memory? I mean, white in the can has say, well, see, I know from the testimonies given me from time to time for people who work with their brains, that sleep is worth far more before than after midnight. 2 hours good sleep before midnight is worth more than 4 hours sleep after midnight. At least 2 hours before midnight. Una ye basa a damage your brain pa. Okoda over 90 minutes to go from level 1 to level 4. 4 now dream. Dream is good for the brain. Then you come back to level 2. Rapid eye movement. Even though the person is asleep, the eyeballs are moving around. But the biada will see what he and I will read it. The brain is taking it and put it to the memory bank. After midnight, the brain doesn't do that anymore. So one fan to memory bank, and into Mama White on the inspiration say 2 hours good sleep before midnight is worth more than 4 hours sleep after midnight. If you say you can encode and put the things you have learned into memory bank. 12 o'clock, king, body temperature ni change. A mano assess a babu maudinema ocean akuton premna article. Ube sia diama de say where you cannot retain. It was a sleep with 7 to 8 hours every night. So yeah, tell microphone off now. You did it also. The brain do my in the whole day. a putu garbage in our border run do car and chance any border garbage fanko every day. Just a wood that deep sleep and sana at Timias and then the washer about wash brain na ye clean senia neurons in betting me a yajuma. We connect away. They are talking to each other. Now, so it can only happen just when you deep sleep. Garbage even a good abantini, where a friend a tower. And when see a friend, blue one. To garbage and go on a the brain cells on the sign absorb nina bio. The neural transmission no koso kama you will end up beta amyloid when you beta amyloid. One my jarre Alzheimer one move near koye autopsy of the brain who say beta amyloid bebre na wo one brain na chichire neurons in. It is all be our noir diane wo aluminium pots no causes milk of magnesia causes chewing gum causes a beta amyloid in each neurons in an intimate yajumabio. And that tau is a waste product. One causes a best absorb assay cell transmission. On say normal cell come say no jumana when attitude could. There is no transmission at campus. What media kora. Nanso a lack of sleep. A minimum bosses a medium 2 hours you need 7 to 8 hours sleep. A lot is going on in our brains. When you gene be aba apo epsilon 4 alley. Alzheimer for no aquara nasa school for an sort of maybe would test will be blood for this gene. No more. Watching more time obenya Alzheimer and San. By University of Chicago for Korea studies very interesting. One tested one my war apo epsilon 4 alley. Yeah, one year condemned to die if you one my DSA. One who say, so one who needs saturated fats to say ice cream, no milk and cheese in the one. One to postpone one Alzheimer's by 80%, even though was hygiene. One me in Crawford, one tie exercise here. One to me postpone one more Alzheimer's. If Alzheimer's will be one test, one man fairly, and one coffee blueberries, one day smoothies, the man one opinion. 3 months later, you didn't show any one mina passy. There are certain foods you bet me the Yeboah. Saturated fats, and metabolize more. At Senia, who was open winter time, Pumna shako no watch. That's how the end products sit on produce baby. Next, say brain cells, cum cells. I did me stop on a vitamin E. Vitamin E is some cost on vitamin E if you send near Waston. Near my 80 Boama vitamin E, vitamin E in 1 penny woman. 1 penny. And so I buy my one kwanza. Do num vitamin E, 1 item, almost 7 others. Until one casa would imbalance about mojang. Cocoa fed near the vitamin E, ba. Nazi, a high in vitamin E. And now, sir, near movie. In kanka avocado and spinach. Nina are very high in vitamin E. Chance one casa over quaco tosto diana. Blueberries in. Yan take a brain break kakra. And Yamana or Honor Dawson, Ebiana, Yentimina. But Yenina came from an egg, a mother's egg. To say, way, here is the mother's egg. These are the sperms, a member sperms. You know. Each event, you know, millions in a release. One mina speed towards the egg, and you bedrew her egg in the mocanon. But until the bomb say, pay one marking alusu. Meme to her make us if you say, me name yanum tumlika, the coy and a meme nam duramu first and tinny a woman. Was so what the idea so was one idea first over millions and millions and millions. They won't tinny a war instead of said, Unian Marcan. One day spam net until by pim egg and must say pet. Be any hobby or bitumen the nature room where the anatomic one the egg and outside in to grow ya dignity the room with the rum say penna chemistry co be anti mean rumbio. I told a be a mere nothing bomb at the same time, no one my by twins. What until you would egg no more. Nan tell no at watching it. One no war banner, Beman spam in 23. And I'm a menace nucleus in 23. Tinimi no by carbon 46. Genes, you know. Genetic code highly complex. And in a bed detected near Aquaranes as a way. Nehene, which you make a chance and Hen call yourself papa dear. Mo a quadron call yourself papa dear. Mo sika say a shay and call yourself papa dear. One cabums and split it. Developers are two identical twins, 99.99 something % identical twins, except to say there are times that one yet behave differently. Anatomy no yabobosu tete na yede besia de besunafe yapon identical twins. So one behavior drew baby at Mrs. Usha one nyina ni a pepe. One here you could want to tell the difference. A day no one to behave differently. We were Italy crowbar concerned about was 1 million hour doctor's appointment. Or be unconscious on some million fata de windshed. And so somehow the identical twins in the near the same. And I'm one identical genes in it. But and then since 1970s, and you who says senior genes no corana cause be a idea be a friend epigenetics above the genes. Your epigenetics and a catcher say, category say, walk or ye catramat. No dimilica coye. Coye, I need to sell papa. No dimilica coye. Ye genes in the neck, epigenetics no, and the order. Genes, no, more yebribia. And cherry and epigenetics controls the gene. It tells the gene what message to express and to not to express. Now, gene, DNA strand, and I bear 6 feet long. Now, yet then, literally millions of these. Yametim de kogu nucleus kitikatimu. Yamia devised a brilliant method of an sawa. 6 feet idea what it chira sawa no sa which mean the 2 money a year. We share DNA no any strand they are 400,000 times bigger. And so Yamia packet bebre millions and what they gum the nucleus in Mohase. But there is a problem. Asawa no nature no genetic strand in necessary history who to say as I de pamade. Bakon ya koko, a tulabia or can't wrong message sa history say tighten ahmana or chichirano. Na green so I can say and don't tighten, gum kama. Or tighten no, as some beard anywhere, epigenetics in the back country gene no better yet. And I mean the diagram what I say. I loose around the histone. But what tighten say ya near beard anywhere we can a day wait here. Or ye haywire near Pebia and a warrior. 1970 Payino or Duke University, or discover Sadi. Nti will be say tighten idea neighbor, and or man kura idea to tighten their genetic idea. When you say kura on their tighten ya. As sama gene ka ya on adma me anti nyina. Kura na ye tufu. Ni nua pa ni o. Oni nyina ye the same minute. We say aye tufu or diabetic or diabetes or heart attack. Which then said one run mace said the any woman or pay a dear in any quine because said during say by Ninsen or no Nijin at the end of Titan, den, one at you to Fuya or a time bomb, ni manina, the Twaso the 4th generation. Enti my wife dear Susamunian Sanamu dear Dianibi and Sasamudia, a Timu Titan message. Akorani nyina obachira ne nkontasa de ne won hunita obenya yade ahodo nyina bi se nkwara ye di echi se kora ntimi nkosku mobra papa anya won ma na mom ne won great grandmother di during pregnancy no ama hu hia nyame wose wu nyankopon firi ho ama na ye next if is a one may control the destiny of yenum nyina aduane a or mammy, dear, yes, I want to condemn to die. The men be to Fusa, all because you say a human titan, the message again and epigenetics and a country gene wanted. Ne the idea who do people, but one soon you say, I do an embassy who would demand quarani dear, a timid luzon a humano. So the water bottle too come, Nancio. Woman say we are born one BP no a sea put into insurance to confancy no ma. We jeans is a childbearing age day to me tighten and yeah, a bit may affect a woman. Processed food munya may be brewa, a timmy tighten and the worst of all juices said apple juice and orange juice and in the kakaka honest. Preservatives a digomona, and my young gunner for allergies are Cassian. And no sooner a damage near my near me. Tiakwara will be born with a built-in disadvantage because it's an emami. I be a new dear bra onions and say away bottled and would you see microwave now heat here. Heat no a dissolve sa idea way. Comericanum. Now, Nema the man so when you send my adamano. Nancy would name say. But transfer damage in our muscle and in our generation. Dr. Jetto, Susuk Maihuni says soybeans, Ninria Nibi Woa. My meaning in Senu dear, a buano, and managing a genetic adena and titan. Was it all green vegetables? And canka kale. Kale should be number 1. A sana man says in the attaching cry a timiko sanano. And I say broccoli. But kale your best. Do a so-called grocery store. Stay close to the vegetables. Caneno na nipas to say. With genes in a transmitted message, you know, a control with destiny. Control with sikasam, control wajane. But then you say epigenetics and the control. Genes, no, and I say, yeah, when you say food, no, yeah, no, and also the control epigenetics. Ube no broccoli, no, man, say, yani, Zion Hurum Fasuka crab in any dinner green, and no, say, no. Na nkanka sa coniferous idea kale na dahoy. Such coniferous vegetables in are very potent in helping the genetic code to untighten. Kale the methyl tetrahydrofolate reductase idea woman. Genes control our destiny. Can't it know? Say epigenetics controls our genes. And the vegetables they control epigenetics. The food that the mother eats during pregnancy controls the destiny of her child, her grandchild, and her great grandchild, especially say cotton eggs no so and that's a sperm no so. Waiting me transfer man and man in nana bebre. DNA be loaded the gun says sabi over border man that's was it, but it is the mother that pulls the trigger. Now say yina nim say excuse me. During pregnancy, near maybe I bet damaging Quran life for the rest of their lives. As I say, you're very, very, very careful. We monitor to na yenya kwan bisa questions. In fact, we kura away. A correctly has a brain or baby or high friendly glucocorticoid receptors. Sa idea tighten jeans in the baby. And so Sanema me wono. No other than catcher ma fan hosa, and as an mammy who crown for Q-tips. Now the my technicians say, one fan hosa, glucocorticoid receptors, no. Emma cura intimusia dear, no way hyperactive, no, it may disappear. To honest about one Emma, I'm on my normal offspring to me and I very normal. But so when the banana one tough no one for Q-tips and fan. Glucocorticoid receptors no yakasi. Set ye biada, the genes no better and develop sa silences baby ready. The better amani menina baye idea. And until identical twins. Now mama no say ibisa say aduania wouldn't condemn will be to this kind of life. Aduania was medium a condom na near me penny. Now corroborate suffer. One mumpany bremuina to the end. We saw the call Jumanco pay. No, da hoya. Naturally, say Maya war asundie papa desu. Was next to God, women are next. Nkora when Mkodin some money be other. I diania, ma many dear, and Natimia damage one. And you know, see the Seventh-day Adventists have been chosen by God as peculiar people, with a peculiar message and a peculiar song. So we are peculiar people there. Your message should be different and your song should be different. He has made them his representatives and has called them to be ambassadors for him in this last work of salvation. The greatest worth of truth ever entrusted to mortal man. The most fearful warning ever sent by God to man has been given to the Seventh-day Adventists to transmit it. Brain nerves and the mayor control BBR. Was it all those who are partakers of the divine nature will escape the corruption that is in the world through lust. It is humanly impossible. Testimony volume 2. For those who indulge the appetite to attain to Christian perfection. And possible. Without faith, it is impossible. Without obedience to the word of God, it is impossible. All those who are partakers of the divine nature and will be translated will escape the corruption of appetite. The same sin that brought judgment upon the world in the days of Noah exists in our day. Men and women now carry their eating and drinking so far that it ends in gluttony and drunkenness. Now, what can I say powerful? The prevailing sin, the indulgence of appetite, perverted appetite, inflamed the passions of men in the days of Noah, great corruption, violence, sin, inflame one passion. The moral pollution was finally swept from the earth by means of the flood. The same sin of Adidier and drunkenness benumbed the moral sensibilities of the inhabitants of Sodom, so that crime seemed to be the delight of the men and women of the wicked city. Likewise also it is with Lot. They did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, They planted, they built it. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the days when the Son of Man is revealed. Gluttony, near the debonnaires and empire and media. The people who lived before the flood ate animal food and gratified their lust until their cup of iniquity was full, and God cleansed the earth of its moral pollution by a flood. Then the third dreadful curse rested upon them. After the flood, the people ate largely of animal food. God saw that the way of man was corrupt and that he was disposed to exalt himself proudly against his creator. Nipa ni opaya nam ne nnuanefo no ne mane wo nim better chanyame. How does he dare to tell me? And to follow the inclination of his own heart. And he permitted that long-lived race to eat animal food to shorten their lives, spiritual gifts. The first king was pronounced upon the posterity of Adam and upon the earth because of disobedience. The second one, curse came upon the ground after Cain slew his brother. The third one, which is the most dreadful curse from God, came upon the earth at the flood. So you will reap what you sow. Eating of flesh was not God's plan. Meat eating shortens life. As we approach the translation to heaven, God himself will change our diet. Enti wana yaso edibesi ha na obia wo question. But mama no mon kai say kaneno ne yesusu say jeans ena ma wo sa wo papa wo yet sane ya wo papa. Actually 70s ni ehunu say aye epigenetics. Say ni ehunu say aye aduane a mama no de koya no. Ni edi si pono so say ni. Ono anya memoir na ni aye tie changes kakramra. O hwe de trana me hono a. Or say I'm setting before you life and death. I'm calling upon the whole heaven and the earth. Say imagine how cool ni nyama dance for. So in spite of ni you're going to make a choice. One imagine how ni enhwe ni nyama dance a choice I will be making. Ebi be come back a dey aduane bia ope. Obi be come back na o kan say senka ubetimi dey anka make say choose life. Anti fancy ha na few minutes I can 5 minutes no. And for me question bia ebetimi.